Russia abandons 20,000 troops near Kherson. By 6 World News. Russia abandons 20,000 troops near Kherson. Stupid orcs cut off as commanders flee across river in the face of Ukrainian counterattack, governor says. Russia has abandoned 20,000 troops near Kherson in the face of a Ukrainian counterattack, the regional governor has claimed. Vitaly Kim said Russia is relocating command posts on the west bank of the Dnipro River to the east, leaving stupid orcs, his term for Kremlin soldiers, behind. Ukraine has already blown up all 3 bridges under Russian control connecting the 2 banks, meaning its soldiers on the west side have no easy way of resupplying, reinforcing, or retreating as Kyiv's men continue their advance. Kim, the governor of Mykolaiv, which sits on the west bank, said Monday that Russian commanders have now begun withdrawing, apparently fearing capture or death at the hands of the Ukrainians. I feel just a bit sorry, but not much, for the stupid orcs who had been abandoned on the right bank of the Dnipro, he wrote on Telegram. All of the commanders are moving to the other side. Kherson was captured by Russian forces back in March, as Putin's troops stormed out of occupied Crimea and captured swathes of Ukraine's south. It is a strategically important city as it spans the Dnipro River, which divides Ukraine in 2, and sits close to the Black Sea coast, which connects Ukraine to valuable sea trading routes. The city also has huge symbolic value, because it is the only regional capital to have been captured by Putin's forces during the invasion. Ukraine announced plans for a counterattack in the region last month, before blowing up 2 road bridges, the Antonovsky Bridge in Kherson and Novokakhovka hydroelectric dam bridge, using HIMARS rockets. Both have been struck several times, including again at the weekend, with British intelligence saying they are now likely impassable to most vehicles. Even if Russia manages to make significant repairs to the bridges, they will remain a key vulnerability, the Ministry of Defense said. Ground resupply for the several thousand troops on the West Bank is almost certainly reliant on just 2 pontoon ferry crossing points. With their supply chains constrained, the size of any stockpiles Russia has managed to establish on the West Bank is likely to be a key factor in the force's endurance. But American think tank the Institute for the Study of War believes that Russia has already lost the ability to hold the area. Russian forces on the west bank of the Dnipro will likely lose the ability to defend themselves against even limited Ukrainian counterattacks, it said on Sunday. Bringing ammunition, fuel, and heavy equipment sufficient for offensive or even large-scale defensive operations across pontoon ferries or by air is impractical if not impossible. Recapturing Kherson would be a huge morale boost for Ukraine while also proving that its ultimate war aim, retaking all of the territory occupied by Russia, is possible, with the right kind of support. It would likely trigger an increased supply of weapons from Kyiv's western backers, along with more financial support. And it would make the prospect of a Russian assault on the vital port city of Odessa, around 90 miles to the west of Kherson, extremely remote. In order to try and thwart those plans, Putin has moved thousands of troops from the eastern front line to reinforce the area around Kherson. But that, combined with HIMARS strikes devastating ammo dumps and command posts, has slowed Russia's advance in Donbass to a crawl. Putin's generals have captured no significant ground since taking the cities of Severodonetsk and Lysychansk in late June and early July. America believes Russia has now lost around 75,000 men killed and wounded, half the force Putin amassed before invading, and is struggling to recruit more men. The shadowy Wagner mercenary group is said to be so desperate for recruits that Prigozhin is going in person into Russian jails looking for convicted murderers to draft into its ranks. Conscription is also underway in occupied regions, but these troops are poorly trained and equipped and have been called cannon fodder by Ukrainian soldiers. Putin is also being forced to turn to an ever smaller group of allies to help, buying up to 1,000 drones from Iran and vowing to deepen ties with North Korea. At a major arms exposition that began today, Putin bragged that Russian weapons are decades ahead of rivals, despite obvious shortcomings in Ukraine, and vowed to supply his allies with the best he has available. Putin said, "We are ready to offer our allies the most modern types of weapons, from small arms to armored vehicles and artillery to combat aviation and unmanned aerial vehicles. Almost all of them have been used more than once in real combat operations. Many of them are years, if not decades, ahead of their foreign counterparts. And in terms of tactical and technical characteristics, they are significantly superior to them." Delegations from more than 70 countries are attending Army 2022 to take advantage of good deals on Russian kit.